welcome to Professor SNAB, where we aim to make A-level biology as simple as a cell. So today we are looking at understanding the stages of succession from colonization to a climax community. So looking at the stages of succession. So succession is the process of ecosystem changing over time, and it involves both biotic and abiotic factors. Primary succession takes place when newly formed or exposed land is inhabited by an increasing number of species, and this arrival of organisms on bare land is known as colonization. So, what then happens is the newly formed land can arise from a range of reasons, such as the cooling of lava from erupting volcanoes, giving rise to rocky islands, of further calamities such as landslides and glaciers retreats can expose bare rock. So primary succession can occur in any type of bare land. The following are the stages of primary succession. So seeds and spores carried by the wind land on exposed land and begin to grow. These are the first species to colonize the new land, and they are known as pioneer species. And some examples are moss and lichens. Pioneer species can germinate easily and can withstand harsh conditions such as low water and nutrient availability, which is why these are often the first species to grow on bare land. The pioneer species die and decompose, and this results in dead organic matter forming soil. Seeds of small plants and grasses blown by the wind now grow in the soil, and these plants can withstand shallow, nutrient-poor soils. Again, at this stage as well, the soils have poor nutrients, and so this restricts the kind of species that can actually grow. And as these small plants develop roots, they grip onto the soil, and this minimizes soil erosion. So these plants die and decompose, and the soil becomes much more richer in nutrients. And this results in the land now being able to support larger plants and shrubs begin to grow. The cycle repeats and the soil becomes more nutrient rich, and the more nutrient rich it becomes, the diversity in the type of species increases as well. The final species to colonize the new land becomes the dominant species of the current ecosystem. The result is called the climax community, and this is the final community formed, containing all the different plant and animal species that have now colonized the land and are part of the ecosystem. Climax community depends on the location. So, for example, tropics would result in a rainforest, temperate regions would give rise to deciduous woodland. And climax community is a stable community, but it's not always the most biodiverse. Because so the point is, climax community and biodiversity are two different terms that mean two different things. So pioneer species such as lichens help to slowly break apart the top surface of bare rock. This rock, along with the dead organic matter left behind from the dead lichens, forms the basic soil. Simple species such as grasses stabilize the soil through their roots, holding onto moisture and nutrients. And new colonizing species change the environment in such a way to minimize the survival of the previous species. So old species that have existed before, they get outcompeted by the new species. And deepening of soil and growth of trees lead to block out of light to shrubs and smaller plants. So once again, the bigger trees are more likely to survive, while the shrubs and smaller plants, they begin to die out. So what is secondary succession? So secondary succession takes place on a previously occupied land after events such as wildfire or deforestation. The cycle is the same as a primary succession, the only difference being that the soil is already present. So what is the relationship between human activities and succession? So human activities such as regular moving prevents the development of certain species, and grazing of livestock also prevents this. This results in a type of climax community called plagioclimax. So this is also a stable community, but this is a result of human intervention. So for example, heathlands. So that is all from Professor Snap today. Hope this topic has been useful. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.